He says, so that squat depth wasn't looking so good. And I just erupted. I was like, you son of a bitch! You didn't tell me for 20 whole minutes? I did the whole fucking workout and now you're not going to tell me? And then I remember I left the gym. I was like, why did you tell me in the middle of it? Why didn't you walk up to the judge and go, hey, tell him to get lower? Yo, so let me get this straight. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. I need to admit it. Everyone's calling me the rep sheriff and Batman Vengeance. And yeah, I can make some pretty good judgment calls, I believe. But I have also fallen victim to not having perfect movement in the past. It's something we've all done at every level. Some days you're just not feeling great, and sometimes you don't lock out your elbows, or sometimes you let the bar come down before your hips extend, or sometimes you don't fully lock out your deadlifts. It happens to everybody. It happens to the elites. It happens to the everyday person. It happens to the freaking person who's harping on everybody on the internet for not doing their reps. So you know what? It just happens. But when it happens, your goal is to take whatever sort of feedback you get and try to get better from that feedback. That's all we're trying to do, is we want to be the best version of ourselves. We're trying to get better. Something that actually came up in light of all of this stuff at breakfast the other day with a couple of buddies of mine. This is why I was still overrunning the affiliate. And as the affiliate owner, people have a hard time telling you might not be doing things quite as well as you were. So I had a member of mine who had taken the judges course who was judging me on a workout. The workout was 20.2. It was that 20-minute AMRAP or whatever with the 4 dumbbell thrusters. First time dumbbell thrusters were in the open. And then there was 8 toes to bar, I believe, and some of them were double unders, maybe 24 of them. And it was just the Cindy sort of style. So you're kind of going through it. You're trying to go through it quick. And on my dumbbell thrusters, I wasn't hitting depth. I wasn't getting quite low enough. My judge wasn't telling me. I had the camera set up. I had done things before where I checked my reps on my own phone, which I like to do. Put the phone down, see what I look like, make sure I know what the sensations feel like. I'm not putting that judge in a sort of position where they might have to no-rep me and feel uncomfortable, although it's their job to no-rep you at that point. I remember I finished up the whole 20-minute workout, felt pretty good about the score, walked over, and my buddy goes, the one who I was having breakfast with, he says, so that squat depth wasn't looking so good. And I just erupted. I was like, you son of a bitch! You didn't tell me for 20 whole minutes? I did the whole fucking workout and now you're not going to tell me? And then I remember I left the gym. I was like, why did you tell me in the middle of it? Why didn't you walk up to the judge and go, hey, tell him to get lower? This is what this whole thing is all about. Everybody needs to be getting on everybody to hold everybody to a higher standard. So even in my position back then, Mr. Batman, Mr. Rep Sheriff, he has fallen victim to this. He wasn't hitting depth. So you know what I had to do? I had to redo the whole workout. It was a good thing that in that position, the open, I had 3 or 4 days to still redo the freaking workout. Make sure I was hitting depth, make sure I was upholding the standard. This isn't always the case. But if there's one message I want to drive across, is that everybody should be holding everybody to a standard. And then if you're held to a standard, you should not be getting pissed off. Which brings me to this. My comments section, it's pretty cool. I've always wanted people in a comments section talking about things and definitely talking shit. I kind of get a kick out of people talking shit to me. I love it. Whatever they say, sometimes there's validity to it, but let's hear what Mr. Greggory Allen has to say. Every vid you make, you are just hating so hard, bro. LOL, it's really embarrassing. You just come off as jealous. Do I come off as jealous? I've already said, I don't really care to make the games anymore. Sure, I wanted to, but, I'm having a much better time making these videos and trying to help out the thing that I love so much, that being the CrossFit and its community. So I respond, every video I make, loving, gets 1/10 of the views, Greg. Understand this, GTFO. He sends me back a clown face. Nate Hale responds, you should judge the reps on this guy's 22.3 and 22.1 video. His very first wall walk is a no rep. So Greg, I went and I looked at your videos. So Nate Hale has brought us here. Nate Hale has brought us to show Greggory Allen, first rep, 22.1, the hand moves early. You can see that the foot is still on the floor when the left hand begins to move. And this is a common mistake that Greggory Allen continues to make in the workout. It's a common mistake that he continues to make, especially when you see that there is a rep in here where he happens to have both hands on the line. So he moves it early again there. That's not the rep we're looking for. I jump ahead a little bit and I cut around and I'm looking for a good rep. So when I look for a good rep, it shows me that, it's just not a mistake and it's not something that he's doing on accident, but it's showing that he knows what the standard is and he can be doing that. And you saw a hand pop into the frame there. The hand that pops into the frame there, that could be his judge. It could be just a friend. I'm not sure who the hand is, but the hand is probably somebody who, like I mentioned earlier, should be getting on Greggory. They should be like, hey, keep your hands on the line. There's that hand again. I don't know what that hand is doing, but I do believe that he stands up here. I jump around. He takes a little bit of a break. Greggory isn't claiming to be an elite athlete here, but he is claiming to be someone who talks shit in my comments section. So right there, both hands did stay on the line the entire time. He gets both hands to the wall, and that was a good looking wall walk. We go on over to his 22.3 video. And on his 22.3 video, you can't see the pull-up bar. When you can't see the pull-up bar, it's impossible to tell whether or not he breaks the plane of the pull-up bar with his chin. I wasn't a big fan of the fact that they put pull-ups into the open in the first place. They've never done that before. It's hard to judge. It's very abstract whether or not the chin is getting above the bar, but it's made even more impossible, you could say, when you can't even see the pull-up bar in the first place. So he's doing his kips. He has a pretty good pattern there. And when you see this, he's a rather competent athlete, this Greggory Allen man who's talking shit in my comments section. He can do double unders. He's in good shape. This is not easy crap to do. He's clearly put work in to get to this point, but then you come out over to your thruster bar, he cleans it up to his shoulders, it's 95 pounds, that's good, but it does not look like he's hitting depth and you can't see his lockout. It's clearly stated in the judges course that you need to be able to see the top position of the bar. If you can't see the entire movement from the camera angle that you use, the score will be written as invalidated. So Greggory Allen has an invalid score. I'm going to go later onto the leaderboard and show you that he's still on the leaderboard. He is merely an example, and I'm not trying to say, hey, take his score down. What I am saying is that this is somebody that you can see is clearly just getting away with it, and nothing's going to happen on the side of CrossFit. Can CrossFit go all the way down and find these people? No, they can't do that, but they should be able to let us do what we need to do here. So again, I'm going to make it rather clear here that I don't try to make things personal. And you're going to watch this, and Greggory Allen's probably watching this, and he's going to think this is super personal. But what I always say is that when you have a huge number of people on the internet and you're putting things out there, and everybody in the world almost at this point has access to the internet and they have opinions on things, and there is a standard to uphold on certain things, especially in the world of CrossFit, that you can be put into suspect. It could be freaking Rich Froning. And if Rich Froning isn't locking his elbows out of the top of a muscle up, or he isn't squatting to depth, and he's going to put that on the internet, then he is also suspect, and he just doesn't do that. And why doesn't he do that? He tries to move as well as he can every single time. And that's what we're trying to do here. So what I hope happens is I hope Greggory Allen does end up seeing this. And I hope that he can learn from this and say, oh, you know what, Andrew? I see that I should have been keeping my hands on the line the whole time. I wish that my judge would have said that. Maybe he's going to get into a little bit of a hassle with the judge who was in there. Similar to the way that I got into a freaking little hassle with my buddy back in the day. And then a while later, we can have breakfast over it. It's just something that we can laugh about. Like, remember that one time you freaked out at me because I didn't let you know you were squatting to depth, and then I let you do 200 thrusters before I told you? Ha ha ha. Hey, it wasn't that funny at the time, but it's funny now. And we learn from it. And you know what? Now I know when I'm doing dumbbell thrusters that I need to pay extra close attention to the fact that I need to be squatting a little bit lower. And that's what I'm trying to get across here. Maybe Greggory Allen didn't know that his camera needed to have everything in view. Maybe he thought that him being in view is enough. And maybe this is just something that a lot of people, if it's one case here, you know how many people there are in the world? There's so many people everywhere that probably just don't know this stuff. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I want to put out the content that'll help everybody learn. So Greggory Allen, I'm sorry that you happen to be the one who called me a clown on the internet and then had my Robins come after you, and then my Robins pointed me in the direction of your first wall walk, and then I also happened to watch the rest of your videos and see that there was a couple of more issues. But I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm trying to use you as an example, not to make you go down, but to bring everybody else up. And I hope that you see that. If you don't see that, you want to comment in the section and go, you son of a bitch, how dare you take my camera? I hate you so much. And that's okay. But I hope and I know that a lot of you guys are going to see the good in this. And I hope that Greggory Allen is one of them. Nothing personal, my man. And you know the way CrossFit's going, that you're going to keep your spot in the leaderboard right there. You're in the RX division, and you should be holding yourself to the highest standard possible, because that's what we all should be doing. And that's the message that we want to be spreading amidst everything that's going on in our community right now. If you like this sort of stuff, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If Greggory Allen happens to comment in the comment section, don't go too hard on him, because I remember being in his position at one point, and it's not easy to hear. Like, you don't want to hear that your workouts that you tried really hard in weren't up to standard, they weren't up to par. When you look at something like this car, and if this car is black, you're like, yeah, it's black. And if someone's telling you it's gray, you're gonna go, no, it's not gray, it's freaking black. Just like you're watching this video and you go, yeah, that wall walk wasn't right. Or, yeah, that thruster wasn't in the camera. Or, yeah, I can't see the pull-up bar. It's that easy. It should be that easy. And if you don't hear it as that easy and you take it personally, then that's all of a sudden not the judge's problem. It's something that is within you. Andrew Hiller, goodbye.